Hey, what's up? We're here with a new episode of Movie News, and we have a lot to talk about today. So we're going to start off with Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins to be in a new movie called Cleopatra at Paramount. Now,
Mhm.
this is pretty exciting, coming off the back of having filmed Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 2 together. Of course, Gal Gadot starring as Wonder Woman and Patty Jenkins directing both films. So, Nick, what are your thoughts on the news of that?
Um, I'm really just excited in general, just for these two to get more like work. I think like they're like really they're really good in what they do, and I think like just thus far they just needed just more things, more projects and whatnot to do things. And I know Gal Gadot has like Red Notice and Death on the Nile coming out, and I wasn't sure about Patty Jenkins, but it's good to see that they're you know you have this big project now. They're doing it together. We know that they've worked well together from the first Wonder Woman, and so um, I don't know. I'm excited. Like Cleopatra, I was not expecting that. That's going to be like big historical epic that could go a lot of ways. But just for the team behind it, like I love Gal Gadot. I'm so excited to see Patty Jenkins get her name out more. So, and I heard it was like at the source of a big like bidding war too, with Paramount coming out on top. So definitely excited to see where they take that in the future.
Yeah, I'm in the camp that I haven't seen anything else of Patty Jenkins other than Wonder Woman.
Right.
So I'm excited to see her directing something else, even though I love the first Wonder Woman movie, except the kind of the third act.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really hyped that I get to see a new movie with Patty Jenkins, and I kind of want to see Gal Gadot outside of that Wonder Woman role.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I want to see her more as like a different, can be in different parts of
Yeah.
the world as like an actress and isn't just
Right.
necessarily one
Yeah.
thing.
Just a chance to see them branch out.
Yeah. But we're going to move on to something even bigger than that, and that is Borat 2. The trailer came out. It drops October 23rd. I am super excited. It is the most inappropriate movie, but also maybe one of the best inappropriate movies. That's a satire. It's kind of a documentary, but it's really a movie.
Documentary. That was probably the
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
yeah, that's the best way to put it. And the first one was just great, and it's insightful upon like the people we live with in our
Mhm.
society, and also it's just hilarious some of the stuff that's said. um I'm trying not to spoil it because you haven't seen the first one, I
No,
know.
it's
so
okay. It's
so
okay.
what
Don't.
are you, having not seen the first one, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Well, from what I know, the first film was that like Sacha Baron Cohen, like it was one of the most like no holds barred like type filming experiences. Like I know they filmed a lot of it like it would like they would tell the people in the film like that they were like they were doing an actual documentary, and like they played off real reactions. And that came out what, 2006, 2000
That,
something like
yeah, 2006.
2006. Okay. And different political climate from what it is now. So I think one, the fact that we're getting a Borat sequel in this political climate, October 23rd, how many ever days away from like election day, I think is just utterly hilarious. I think such a bold move from Sacha Baron Cohen. And I mean, I'm excited. I'm gonna definitely gonna try and watch the first film before the sequel drops. I think he even has more material to like satirize like now more than ever. And I feel like as chaotic of a year as 2020, like who would have thought the one thing we all needed was just Borat coming back just to completely like blow stuff up with his like craziness. Like it's like, of course, this was the thing to balance everything.
Yeah, and I can't wait to have more Borat quotes to be able to use. I think it's just
I can't
I'm
wait.
excited.
I
I
can't wait to
believe
see.
that's
Yeah, you go. You finish.
no, go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can't wait to see how many people like get so mad again and get like who are just like up in arms, and like of course there are people who are gonna love it. I think like this is the chaos that there's gonna be such good chaos to watch unfold.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now I believe that'll be available to watch on Amazon Prime. So I definitely will be checking that out the day that it drops, and we'll have a review sometime soon on that. Moving on, we have Ready Player Two. The synopsis for the book came out, and we thought this was important because Spielberg said once the second book would come out, he'd be interested in possibly making the sequel to Ready Player One.
Mhm.
Now, I'm pretty excited about this as a fan of the book Ready Player One. I wouldn't say I was a massive fan of the movie, but I thought it was like a decent to solid adaptation.
Mhm.
Um, but I liked the world that it built, and I liked the characters that were in it. So I felt like it was worthy of a sequel, definitely worthy of a sequel book.
I
But
think yeah, like I think the chance to just go into that like sandbox again and um like just for the chance to like see how much like pop culture we've accrued since like the original, and just to get a chance to like play around with all that, I think just for that alone, like that was like you, I wasn't like, I recognized Ready Player, the first one wasn't like the best movie like ever made, but like I had a great time just because I was like, oh, I recognize that, I know who that is, I got all the references. And I mean, I'll definitely be excited if um they adapted, and I don't see why they didn't. Like it made a good chunk of money, right? It broke even past that.
yeah, I definitely broke even.
Okay,
At least I'm pretty sure it made like 500 million or something like that.
right.
But yeah, it made close to 600 million. In a movie that I think was probably cost like 150 million to make, that's probably a decent profit.
Yes. So there's definitely like economic reason to do it if need be. So
And there's a Spielberg incentive. If Spielberg wants to do a movie, it's very hard to say no.
of course, of course.
Now, I'm just going to give everyone a quick synopsis just so they kind of know what the idea of it is going into it, and then we'll move on. But days after winning Oasis, the Oasis founder James Holliday's contest, Wade Watts make a discovery that changes everything. Hidden within Holliday's vault, waiting for his heir to find, lies a technological advancement that will once again change the world and make the Oasis 1,000 times more wondrous and addictive than even Wade dreamed possible. With it comes a new riddle and a new quest, a last Easter egg from Halliday hinting at a mysterious prize, and an unexpected, impossibly powerful, and dangerous new rival awaits, one who'd kill millions to get what he wants. Wade's life and future of the Oasis are at stake, but this time the fate of humanity also hangs in the balance.
See, just from reading with that, I'm like, I kind of love how it's like classic 80s sequel, where it's like it's kind of the same plot, but we're just gonna like magnify everything like bigger. It's like, oh, it's not the Oasis time, it's like the whole world.
Whole
And I'm
world.
like, that's, you know what? Why not? I'll roll with it. I'll roll with it. I'll roll with it all the way.
Yeah, I think the thing is if you can't have a sequel that's different,
Mhm.
you have to raise the stakes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think they have the ability to do that, and so I'm very excited to see the sequel. We'll read the sequel book when it comes out, and hopefully see the sequel movie.
Mhm.
But moving on, we have Pixar's Soul, which is debuting on Disney Plus. This one's for free; you don't have to pay for it. During the Christmas season, is what they said, I believe. So I'm pretty excited about this. When I saw the first trailer, I kind of thought, "Oh, this is going to be the best animated movie of the year."
Mhm.
Uh, and I was reading a review. The person said they'd only seen the first 40 minutes. I can't remember if it was Variety or Collider or Hollywood Reporter. It's one of them, and they said it was like jaw-droppingly amazing.
That is good
So
to hear.
given it's one review, it's only the first 40 minutes. I haven't read anything on the full reviews because I kind of don't want to. I just kind of want to hear, is it good or not? And there's a lot of positive stuff coming out about that movie. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited that I'm going to get that on Disney Plus for free,
Yeah,
because Mulan left a sour taste in my mouth, especially because they ended up making it so people who weren't on the streaming service could get Mulan for the same price and they could own it forever, as opposed to people like me and you or the audience who may have Disney Plus and can only own Mulan
right.
as long as they have Disney Plus.
Right. I think I feel like is the more interesting aspect of this, is that like I remember reading that like Mulan, like the reason they did $30 was as a test trial to basically see like if we have to like start like releasing theatrical stuff on Disney Plus, like is it viable? And I feel like the fact that they're releasing Soul for free, I feel I don't know, I just think it's an interesting series of events as following what happened with Mulan, because like that caused a big stir, like $30 for like a streaming service I'm already paying for. Um, it'll be definitely interesting. And we talked last time about movie news with like the cinemas closing and like what's gonna happen, what's the future of that gonna look like. I feel like we're gonna see a lot more stuff like this happening from Disney, just or maybe not even just Disney, just in general, just like stuff getting allotted to like streaming, and who knows what happens from there.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that this has to go to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a fan of going to the movies, and I know especially animated movies for parents are heaven because you take your kid to the movie and they can actually just be like quiet for 2 hours and you can kind of have peace and watch a movie before the chaotic journey of parenting
Right.
that you have to go through. So I think it's kind of a bummer that you can't see it in theaters. Um, Especially as a kid, I remember going to the movies to see like an animated movie was one of my favorite things.
Right. It's classic. It's a rite of passage in a kid's life. So
Yeah. But moving on from that, we go from animated to one of the realest, most honest movies ever, The Social Network. And Aaron Sorkin, while talking about the trial of the Chicago Seven, which comes out this Friday, um, said that he does want to write a Social Network sequel, but only if David Fincher directs it. So, Nick, what are your thoughts on that possibility?
well, just the idea of like the Social Network sequel for me, it's an instant like veto because I'm just like, it's just perfect. There's like no reason to like you accomplish exactly what you needed. But I won't lie and say it's not tempting. The idea of just having Fincher and Sorkin reconnect in any like it could have been any project, and like the idea of Fincher and Sorkin just coming back together is just really exciting. And I mean, honestly, like you think about what's happened since the Social Network in like real life with like Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, and I mean like there's definitely things they could pull from. It's a little weird because the Social Network was like it was leaning more towards like an art film, so like it wasn't built to have a sequel. But I mean, honestly, if something in some crazy future fit happens, then I mean, like I don't think they'll let us down. Again, like either or, like behind the movie would have been enough, but both of them, like it's a winning combination.
Yeah, I think here my thinking on it is it almost would be a completely different movie
Mm-hmm.
because I think you're attacking the story from a completely different perspective. The first one was very much the fall of Zuckerberg in a way,
Mm-hmm.
the rise of Facebook, and kind of that cut between the two different things.
Right.
This movie, I would assume, would be much about the era of social media that we're in
Mm-hmm.
and how we live in that world and how Zuckerberg has influenced it. Like, I don't even know if he would be the main character of a Social Network sequel.
It's
Um,
definitely an intriguing possibility, just
yeah,
the way how everything's been.
and I think it would be so much different than the original
Mm-hmm.
that like they may brand it as a sequel if they were to make it, but I think just because how social media has progressed since what was it 2010 when it came out,
Yeah, 2010.
um, like the world and social media is in such a different place and has so much more of an influence over everyone's lives that I think you'd be
Mhm.
making a completely different movie.
Right.
So I feel like it wouldn't take away from the original. And if you can get a movie with Aaron Sorkin and David Fincher working together, there is no way to say no.
Yeah, 100%. Again,
Uh,
any film in general, if they're like Fincher's directing, Sorkin's writing, I'm like, that's it. That's all you need to say.
yeah. Now, speaking of David Fincher, we're going to move on to talk about Mank's first trailer. Now, Mank is going to be dropping on Netflix this year. Uh,
December
I'm pretty,
4th.
yeah,
Uh,
December 4th.
yeah.
That's right. And I'm pretty excited just to see a David Fincher film because David Fincher is David Fincher.
Mhm.
But what were your thoughts on the trailer itself?
First off, the fact that they went full on like retro 30s like style with the trailer like blew me away. I was like, that was like, you know, it was black and white. Like it's okay. We've seen black and white before. We saw it last year with The Lighthouse. You know, that's not, you know, it's not like, you know, it was like a big stunt, but the fact that they like framed it that trailer in that way, I was like, oh, they're shooting for a very specific like style of very specific like period depiction of it
Mhm.
all. And like I haven't seen Citizen Kane yet. I can't remember if you have you seen it?
I have not yet. Yeah, it's
Right,
one of those things that a film student's supposed to see very
right,
early on. Still haven't
right.
gotten there.
It's okay. We'll get to it soon, hopefully. But even then, like having not seen it, but just knowing like films from that era, like I love the vibe that like they were trying to like replicate and depict, and that's really what sold me, the fact that they went fully retro in that respect. And I don't know, I really love the trailer. I'm already excited. Like again, David Fincher, Gary Oldman, um, and it's a movie about a movie. Like the Oscars are gonna eat this up 100%, and
Yeah.
like any like screenplay, best act, best play, the Oscars are gonna eat this film up like either way, especially since it's about Citizen Kane. So I'll be excited to see what happens. I feel like come December, like it'll be definitely a really good film to like kind of end the year on.
But
Um, yeah.
here's my question. When you
Mm.
watched the trailer, were you more excited or were you just like, I'll watch it, but
I was, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't say I was like more excited, but I was definitely like caught off guard in a good way. Again, I wasn't. I was expecting just a typical like drama like trailer, like okay, like, you know, but like given this the source material or not source material, given this the subject of the film, but like the fact that they went for that style, I was a little more like intrigued as to what Fincher's gonna do, because it just from the trailer alone, it looks different from like Zodiac and Social Network. So um, and it's also like very different from Fincher's like usual like psychological, um, at least psychological like serial killer like type vibe with again
Mhm.
Zodiac, Seven, Gone Girl. Um, I don't know. I think I said this before when we were previously talking about it, but it's a film that on the if you read it off the paper, I would not have seen it, especially since I haven't seen Kane. But like with the team behind it, I'm kind of like, and with like the vibes they look to be like portraying, I'm like, you know what? I am definitely intrigued to see how this goes.
Yeah. So there are a few things to that. One,
Mm-hmm.
I saw the trailer and I was just like, nah. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll go see it because it's Fincher, but if it wasn't
Yeah.
Fincher, I definitely wouldn't be seeing it the second it drops.
Mm-hmm.
My second thing that I'm more curious about is when movies about movies drop, like I wonder if Citizen Kane sales are going to go through the roof
Mm-hmm.
if this movie is well received. I wonder if this movie is going to make people not just like, oh, Citizen Kane is now in my head again. It's like, oh, like people have never seen the movie before. Like, oh my gosh, I need to see Citizen Kane. If the movie about it's that good, like imagine how good the actual movie
Mm-hmm.
is.
Right. Right.
So those are our thoughts this week on what's happening in the world of movies. Let us know what you think. Is there any stories you need us to cover? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
So.